I recently did something no police chief should ever have to do. I let two men in fake uniforms cuff me on my own porch, with the HOA president grinning from ear to ear. And their reason? They said, I was in violation of community bylaws. Funny thing is, the only thing tested that day was my patience, not their authority. But let me start from the beginning. I stand in the middle of my new living room. The smell of fresh paint hangs in the air. It smells like a clean slate. Boxes are everywhere. They're cardboard mountains I have to climb. One is labeled kitchen. Another says old files burn. I smile at that one. My wife, before she passed, had a sense of humor about my job. Most of those files air commendations and case notes from 20 years on the force. 15 in SWAT, the last 5 as chief of police. This house is my reward. It's my quiet place. That street is lined with big oak trees. The houses are neat. The lawns are green. It's the kind of neighborhood where you hear birds in the morning, not sirens. I bought it for the silence. My grand pause to say a man's home is his castle, but he also said the best castles have quiet neighbors. I'm hoping for quiet neighbors. I open a box labeled books. Inside on top is a framed picture of my grandpa. He's in his old army uniform, looking stern but with a twinkle in his eye. He taught me how to shoot, how to fish, and how to spot a liar. He believed in order, real order, the kind that lets good people live their lives in peace. Not the fussy kind, but the sturdy, common-sense kind. He'd like this place. He'd tell me to check the fence line first thing. But this neighborhood doesn't have fences. It feels open, trusting. That's a nice change. For 3 weeks, it is perfect. I unpack. I set up my workshop in the garage. I meet a few people. Neighbor Duke from across the street waves every morning. He's a big guy with a bigger laugh who seems to be permanently attached to a leaf blower. Another neighbor, a young family, brings over a plate of cookies. It feels like a community. The job feels a million miles away. I start to breathe again. I start to sleep through the night. Then the first piece of paper appears. It's tucked under the wiper blade of my truck, a personal pickup, not my department vehicle. It's a bright red sheet of paper. The words are printed in an angry, bold font. Violation notice. I read it. My lawn apparently is 1/4 of an inch too high. It violates Section 4, Paragraph B of the Oak Street Community Covenants. A fine of $50 is assessed. The notice is signed by a Karen HOA President, Oak Street Homeowners Association. I look at my lawn. It looks fine. I look at my neighbor's lawn. It looks the same. I feel a familiar tightening in my gut. It's the feeling I get when I see a bully picking on someone smaller. It's not anger. Not yet. It's a cold, heavy sense of duty. I've seen this 1,000 times. Someone gets a little bit of imaginary power and it goes straight to their head. They invent rules to feel important. They create order that serves no one but their own ego. I fold the notice and put it in my pocket. I decide to ignore it. A mistake, I know. But it's my day off. I want to pretend I'm just a guy in a new house, not a cop who smells a rat. The next day, there are 2 red notices. One for the lawn, a new one for me trash can. It was visible from Thief Street for 3 hours past the designated pickup time. This fine is $75. The total is now $125. This car van fleet is efficient. I'll give her that. The notices are starting to feel less like a nuisance and more like a probe. She's testing the fence. She wants to see if there's a dog in this yard and if it will bite. The language is escalating. Words like immediate compliance and further action are sprinkled in. It's boilerplate intimidation. It's meant to scare people who don't know any better. People who think an official-looking piece of paper holds the power of law. My grandpa's face comes to mind. He would have called this a pocket tyrant, a small person making a lot of noise to seem big. He would have also told me that you don't let a weed take over your garden. You pull it up by the roots fast and clean. I look out my window. A woman is walking a small, yapping dog. She stops in front of my house, stares for a moment, and makes a note on a clipboard. She has sharp features and a haircut you could use to level a picture frame. I have a feeling I'm looking at Karen Van Fleet. She looks my way and our eyes meet. She doesn't smile. She gives me a look of pure, unadulterated smugness, the look of a queen surveying her domain. My quiet street doesn't feel so quiet anymore. It feels like occupied territory. The test is over. Now I have to decide how to respond. And for a man like me, there's only one way to deal with a bully who wraps herself in fake authority. You don't just prove her wrong, you dismantle her entire world with the real thing. She's about to find out what happens when she finds the chief of police. Her little game is over. My game is just beginning. The next morning, I drive downtown, not Tommy office at the police department. I go to the county clerk's office. It's an old building, all marble and dust. There smells like old paper and bureaucracy. I like it. It's a place of facts. Facts are stubborn things. They don't bend to opinion or bluster. They're the foundation of the law. I walk up to the public records counter. A woman with glasses on a chain looks up at me over a mountain of files. She looks tired. She probably deals with 100 different dramas a day. "Can I help you?" she asks, her voice flat. "Yes, ma'am," I say. "I'd like to see the incorporation papers and filed covenants for a homeowners association." I give her the name, the Oak Street Homeowners Association. She types the name into her computer. Her fingers move slowly, deliberately. She squints at the screen. She types it again. Then a third time. She sighs. It's a sound that says, "Here we go again. There's no record of an HOA by that name." She says, "Not in this county." I nod. I expected this, but expecting it and proving it are two different things. "Could you check for any variations? Oak Street community, Oak Street neighbors, anything like that?" She types again. More sighs. Nothing. No registered HOA for that entire subdivision ever. It was zoned single-family residential back in the 70s. No covenants were ever filed with the original plat. "Are you sure you have the name right?" "I'm very sure," I say. Issue her one of the red notices. She holds it up to the light, then reads it. A small, humorless smile touches her lips. "Ah," she says, "one of these." "It happens often," I ask. "More than you'd think," she says. "Someone decides they're the queen of the block. They print up some letterhead. Most people just pay. They're afraid of trouble. They don't want to make waves. That's the fuel a bully runs on. The fear of making waves. They count on good people being quiet. You need a certified letter. I say a document stating that an official search was conducted and no homeowners association with that name or any associated covenants exists in the county records." Her smile widens a little. Official letterhead, notarized seal, $25. "I'll take 2 copies, I say. While she prepares the documents, I think about Karen Van Fleet. I think about the sheer audacity of it to just invent an organization and use it to extort money from your neighbors. It's fraud. It's conspiracy. And it's a direct assault on the rule of law. It creates a shadow government on a single street run by one person's whims. When does order stop serving people? It stops the moment it's disconnected from truth and consent. My grandpa served in a war against people who decided they could write their own rules for everyone else. He saw what happens when lies are allowed to grow into something that looks like power. He'd say this little HOA is a symptom of a bigger sickness, a lack of respect for the lines. The clerk comes back with 2 crisp official-looking documents. She'd also checked the state business registry. No HOA or corporation under any variation of the name. The seal on the bottom is raised. It feels heavy in my hand. It's a weapon. A simple, quiet, powerful weapon made of paper and truth. I could go home right now. I could walk over to Karen's house, hand her this paper, and tell her to stop. I could show it to my neighbors. The game would be over. But that's not enough. It's not enough because she wouldn't stop. She'd just move or change the name or find a new crop of victims. You don't scare a wolf away from the sheep. You cage it. The letter from the clerk proves she has no authority, but it doesn't prove her crimes. For that, I need more. I need to let her keep playing her game. I need to give her more rope. I need her to escalate. I need to catch her and anyone working with her in the act sound deniable, so brazen that a judge will have no choice but to make an example of her. This isn't about a $50 fine anymore. It's not even about my street. It's about all the people who have been bullied into paying, the ones who moved away because of the harassment. I can see their files in my mind. Even though I haven't found them yet, I know they exist. Bullies always leave a trail of broken lives. On the drive home, I call my best lieutenant, Danny Reyes. She's my rock at the department. Smart, calm, and knows the law better than most lawyers. Danny, it's Mark. Everything okay, Chief? You're supposed to be on vacation. Mostly listen, I need a quiet background check. Off the books for now. A woman named Karen Van Fleet lives on my street. What did she do? Criticize your gardening skills? Danny's humor is as dry as mine. Something like that. I say, just give me the basics. Priors, financials, known associates. Keep it on your desktop only. No official files yet. You got it, she says. Is this going to be one of your projects? I can hear the smile in her voice. My projects are legendary at the precinct. Cases that start small, the ones nobody else sees, the ones that unravel into something big and ugly. Let's just say, I tell her, I think I've found a weed in my new garden, and I'm going to need a bigger shovel. I hang up.